So hi, Only Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Glory and I are both in great moods today.
Yeah.
We're having great days. We're having great weeks.
Yeah. Great weekends.
Yeah. Great weekends. There is no fuck the Monday vibes this week.
No, man. Shout out Monday. shout out this Monday specifically.
shout out the month, man. Just shout out.
You know what? Fuck it. Yeah. Shout out April. Shout out April. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. In a really random, weird turn of events, Glory has a show to talk about for the second week in a row. This
Holy
hasn't happened
shit.
in years,
and it's not gonna happen again. So I saw Silverstein live, and it was fucking crazy.
They're so good live, so good,
dude. I have been listening to Silverstein as long as we've had the podcast, so it's kind of been like an on-off thing. I used to get them confused with Grayscale, but with Grayscale's last release, it kind of cemented in my brain, okay, Grayscale's pop punk and Silverstein's like metalcore. So now it's finally
technically post-hardcore, but I don't...
You know what? I don't give a fuck about whatever shit-ass butt genre it is, dog. So I was very surprised. Obviously it was a massive deal. The tour overall, it was their 25th anniversary. How it opened, firstly, just I went
to like one.
Exactly. Oh, okay, shit. So, but I'm pretty sure it had the same intro where it's just kind of like, this is Silverstein, and we went through all of this bullshit together. Now we're here with you. Mm-hmm. You know, that like, and then 5-minute trailer,
which
awesome.
totally sets the tone. And then they just rip the discography in backwards order. They start with the newest stuff, and then they close with the oldest stuff off the first album.
Exactly. Unfortunately, I left before the closing because I'm the person who leaves like 5 songs before it ends so I could skip traffic because I hate fucking everyone rushing out. But all of the songs that I did catch were absolutely insane. The crowd got wilier and wilier as the show went on,
because
so
it got closer and closer to the big songs.
Everyone kept getting more and more excited. So that was really awesome. All the opening bands were incredible. Unfortunately, I did miss Greyhaven. Mm-hmm. That was such a bummer for me. I was out, literally fucking across the street.
Out frolicking.
As one does. So unfortunately, I did miss them, but fuck, I have seen them before. I saw them on that Silent Planet tour with the Devil Wears Parada. And they were absolutely incredible. So I know for a fact they're great. So if they do come somewhere near you, please go and see
Fantastic
Greyhaven.
Band.
Broadside was honestly the reason why I left my house that night, because Broadside, Virginia natives, shout out Richmond, even though I'm not from Richmond, but shout out Virginia. Broadside has been one of my favorite on-off bands since I was little. Like, I say little. Oh my god, fuck, I'm like 21 now. Yeah, I guess since I was little. So I've seen them only twice, and the last time I saw them was their headliner, where our friend Sharia Moore opened for them in Canal Club, which is in Richmond, hometown show for them. And seeing them perform in Canal Club, which I looked up was a 700 cap room, to then the Norva, which is 1,700 people, was just the craziest thing ever. Seeing them on that massive stage was just like, shit, oh my god, they're doing the damn thing.
And you got to hear that new song live, which I am so goddamn jealous about.
Dude, shit,
one of my favorite songs of the year so far.
You know what? I'm upset. I'm gonna say it. They didn't play 2 of my favorite songs. Granted, one of them is like their biggest song ever, Coffee Talk. That was the song that introduced me to them. And
then they that?
No!
What the fuck?
It's their biggest fucking song. And I was so excited because I was like, I'm gonna start a pit for this one, because I've wanted to do that to that song specifically since the first time I saw them, but I was too pussy to get in a pit when someone actually opened up a pit in 2022. Anyways, they didn't play Coffee Talk.
It's fucked up.
Fucking weird. They played other insane great song, but I was just kind of like, what the fuck is your problem? Anyways, then Real Friends went on and they did an incredible job. They played my favorite song. Thank you guys. Our Love Was Like a Sad Song. Shout out. Fucking crazy song. Gut wrenching, but like also an ass shaker. Honestly, like I just dance. I really don't like listen to the song. I just go like, fuck yeah, Our Love Was Like a Sad Song. Great stage performance. Real Friends is incredible. Great fucking set. Everything was incredible. The crowd was dead as shit for all of them, firstly, and that pissed me off. The only time, as I said, they kind of started waking up was when as Silverstein's set kept, progressing. But again, it was genuinely day and night seeing kind of the metal show versus the rap show that I went to. So just strange. I just want more energy. Come on, guys. Live minute. Move. It's okay. It's not. You're not gonna get hurt. All right. Well, you might, but just move.
Possibly going to get injured.
Come on.
Definitely. Yeah. And then I went to a couple of shows this week because why not? Or this past week. On Wednesday, I saw 68, Silly Goose, and Islander. I knew 68 going in because I saw them open for Korn back in 2021, and I went because I wanted to see Silly Goose because I think Silly Goose is fucking dope. We had them on the podcast at the tail end of the year. I didn't know what to expect from Islander going in. I was expecting something a little bit more, like, I understood the bill was a little bit mixed because 68 is like this interesting chaotic two-piece rock metal hybrid type thing. Silly Goose is a rap rock band, so like from band name Islander, I was like maybe something a little bit more like laid back, still in like the rock sphere, but a little kind of
like reggae.
Yeah, that's type. What I was thinking, but I'm like, it's a rock show, so probably not like that laid back, but just a rock band. Not even close. Chaotic as shit. Fucking dope. Fucking awesome. The dude
was there like any island influence in it at all?
Not a single island influence at all. The dude FaceTimed his mom in the middle of the set, which was awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was super cool, super chaotic. Left a new fan for sure, because like I said, I had no idea what I was getting into. I mainly was just like, Silly Goose is in town, and like I didn't even buy a ticket in advance. I just showed up day of show, which I very rarely do. I'm always the guy with the ticket in advance, knowing exactly how I'm going to get there and where my ticket is. So I very rarely buy a ticket at the door, but I was like, I'm feeling it tonight. I'm feeling like going out and going to a rock show. Silly Goose was awesome. It was great to finally see them. Been following them for a long time because of all of them constantly going viral online.
Always, yeah.
So yeah, it was cool to finally see them. They fucking ripped. And then 68, like I said, the last time I saw them was when they opened for Korn, and I was still a little bit in the lane of like, I like what I like and I don't want to listen to anything else. And 68 on a Korn and Stain co-headline bill definitely stuck out like a sore thumb, and I didn't like it then. But I was like, I'm gonna stick around at the headline because I'm already here, and see if I like it anymore. And although I still don't think that their music is necessarily my style, I think that their live show is absolutely phenomenal. Like, the amount of noise that they make as a two-piece is mind-blowing.
They just get loud.
They're loud as shit, considering they're a two-piece guitar and drum two-piece. That's it. And they face each other. They don't play to a click or anything like that. Like, everything is straight up live. They don't like and there's no like tracks or anything. Everything is looped through pedals. Was like,
that's impressive.
Yeah, that was their whole thing. Like, they took a second. They're like, rise of computers and AI and all that shit. They're like, we don't do any of that. They're like, it's all, they're like, we're not playing to a click. We're not playing to tracks. Like, we are just straight up rocking, and anything that would be tracks is just looped through our pedal system, which was so dope. like I said, still not like sold on the music. I don't think it's for me, but in terms of the live show, it's phenomenal. The headline is pretty much wrapped up, but they're a band that like I would recommend people to go see, whether you like their style of music or not, because it's a fucking experience for sure. So that was super dope. And then Friday I saw Thornhill, Avoid, Ocean Grove, and Banks Arcade. And man, what a tour. Let me tell you. What a goddamn tour.
You could just end it there. I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear shit about this tour that I missed, dog. I'm so upset.
What a tour, man. Banks Arcade was awesome. It was great to see most of this bill for the first time, despite liking all of these bands' music. The only band I had seen before that was Avoid. Banks Arcade was fucking awesome. Crowd was into the first band, and it just kept going, which was super cool. I do feel like, in like a weird way, like if you like Thornhill, the bands aren't the same, but like they all most of the package comes from Australia and New Zealand, and like if you're tapped in on Thornhill, you're probably tapped in on the other bands that are also popping from that area. So like it's the perfect package to bring over to America. Ocean Grove was fucking awesome. They ate and left no crumbs. I never used that term, but they absolutely did. Don't look at me like that. Ocean Grove, New Jersey is right next to Asbury Park. So Ocean Grove, Dale was like, this is the first time Ocean Grove is playing in Ocean Grove, New Jersey, which close enough. It's literally a stone's throw away from the venue. Like
I'll give it to
there's a bridge over a lake, and you're in Ocean Grove. The lake that flooded House of Independence, you have to walk over to get to Ocean Grove. So you're not far from. You're a 5-minute walk from Ocean Grove.
I mean, they came all this way, so it might as well.
Yeah, we got to give it to them. We got to give it to them. They were fucking awesome. Avoid. Man, they're so fucking dope. Just the energy.
Still haven't seen them.
Benny got tattooed in the middle of the set. Like he was like, "Y'all mind if I get tattooed real quick?" And then got tattooed in the middle of the set for a song.
You still singing?
Yeah, still singing.
Crazy. Okay, cool.
Absolutely insane. They're awesome. It was pretty much the same set list from when I saw them headline, plus the couple of new songs that have been out, which was fine. Like that, it's been a year since I've seen actually a year since I've seen them. So it was totally chill to rip the same set list. I love the most recent record, and they played a good chunk of that, so it was awesome. And then Thornhill was fucking awesome, honestly. They played a decent amount of the new album, and they're phenomenal. They really are, deserving all the success and all the hype that they're getting so far. That tour is still ripping. That tour is still ripping through the US. So if you are a fan of any of these bands, highly recommend the entire package. It was a fantastic night. I had a great time. I've been looking forward to the show for a minute, so I was glad I went. Coming up for me, I got Pollyanna this week. They're on tour with Nice, so I'll be going to that. And then next week, I got Motionless in White in Allentown, because why not? Just continue to travel all over New Jersey and New York and Pennsylvania for this band.
I was gonna say, for Motionless in White,
it's literally the only band I travel for. Everyone's got to have one, I feel like. Motionless in White's my band. I'm thankful to have a band that's local, like within a few hours of my house is the band I like to travel for, because the hometown stuff happens to be an overnight stay in the middle of nowhere, so the hotels are cheap.
You don't have to get on a plane.
To
Don Broco.
So I'm very thankful for that. Always thankful for that. And then I'll probably wind up at the Memphis Mayfire gig the Sunday after that, which happens to be Mother's Day. But I'm going to be spending Mother's Day with Maddie Mullins.
Mother Mullins.
Hell yeah. That's great.
My favorite redhead.
we got a bunch of albums to chat about, as well as a shitload of singles. To kick things off, Machine Head dropped a new album, Unatoned. So we're just getting the random Shane pick of the week out of the way, nice and early in the podcast with the first topic we're going to talk about.
I saw this album and I said, "Oh, that's why it's 4 hours long." Because what the fuck is that?
What the fuck is a Machine Head?
I was like, "Why the fuck? We haven't covered them. He's never mentioned his fucking band ever." I was like, "This is why this. What the fuck is happening?"
So I was giving Glory the lore before this because I had to explain to her why I put this on the playlist. What the fuck? Yeah, she got in the call and she was like, "Dude, what the fuck, man?"
Okay.
So I was explaining to Glory going into the podcast that although I don't talk about it very often, or really ever, Machine Heads, Is There Anybody Out There is one of my favorite like hard rock tracks. Just discovered it randomly, like because it kind of would come up in that same time, like when I was listening to a lot of Slipknot and Korn and things like that, like it would come on in the radio. So I guess, a hard rock metal type stuff. And I always thought that the chorus on that song was super catchy, and I'm not one normally to listen to things in the Spotify radio that I'm not already familiar with. Like, my methods of discovering music are different from Spotify radio. I know a lot of people use that to discover music, but that's not normally the way I go about it. When I sit down and listen to music, I want to listen to the things I know. I have other avenues to discover new music. This was a long time ago, before some of those avenues like this came about. And the way that song opens with asking the question and it being like there's no vocals, it's just that soaring, there's no instrumentals, it's just the soaring vocals asking the question to open things up, and then it kicking into this big, just massive arena sounding track. Really hooked me. So I've always enjoyed that song. So Machine Head's not a band I typically follow, but I had stumbled across the fact that they had a record coming out in the midst of the album cycle, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. I've never listened. I've listened to a couple of Machine Head songs. I like Is There Anybody Out There? And I have this fun outlet that I can use it as an excuse to listen to the record when it comes out on Friday, April 25th. And I can make someone else listen to it with me and then talk about our opinions of it. So hence we are talking about the new Machine Head record.
That's why we're here now.
Yes. So, this is my first time listening through a full Machine Head record. And that same feeling that I get from that song, honestly, just goes through the entire record. Like, massive choruses and just these absolutely massive built for arena songs that don't feel like they're pandering to be that sound. They're just so fucking big. There's so many layers to the songs, and that's what I love. I say it on here time and time again, I'm a sucker for a nice big chorus, and this album is just littered with it. And I love the way it's got that opening intro track with Landscape of Thorns, and then Atomic Revelations as like the first real opening song on the album is just absolutely phenomenal. It's hard hitting, and then following up with Unbound is just it just, that 1-2 punch really sets the tone for the rest of the record. I'm also a big fan of These Scars Won't Define Us. And then, there's that, it gets weird in the middle there for a second with Dustmaker.
It's a little weird.
Which track's a little weird. It's like an interlude type thing that is like used as a palate cleanser before they just decide to absolutely pummel you with Bone Scraper, which is such a badass name. But yeah, just across the board, this record is just big, and that's what I like about it. I didn't, like I said, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't even know if I was going to like it going into it. And I came out, really, really enjoying it and thinking that I should spend more time with Machine Head, because they've been doing it a long time. And, to put out, to be still consistently putting out a record this point in their career that is this good. You know, we were talking about it last week, like chatting about Green Day and things like that. For a band to be at this point in their career and putting out such a solid record is always you know, something to note, because bands fall into the formula doing the same thing. And I really enjoyed this. I listening to it, if I didn't know how long the band had been around, if you told me this band was 20 plus years old, 30 years old, I'd be like, no, they're not. They came out 5 years ago, because that's what it feels like. There's so much. There's so much. Yeah, there's so much energy behind this album, and so much excitement. Like I can feel it in the song. So I really enjoyed this. Be honest with you.
Yeah, this was a pleasant surprise. I mean, I see the name, I see the cover art, the overall kind of just theme of the titles, and I immediately thought, like, did he put fucking deathcore in the playlist? I was like, I know for a fact neither of us are like big like deathcore fans. So I was like, if this is his fucking pick of the week, I'm gonna be so pissed. So obviously it was a pleasant surprise when I was able to like understand, you know, what they were saying, and it wasn't hella aggressive. You know, it's still rock metalcore. So
look at the cover art.
Yeah, you know. So it was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this record. I thought it was fucking crazy. I'm glad you did mention kind of like, well, at least you were referencing your favorite song by them, how it's anthemic and how it's big. And I think that definitely that statement carries over for this record overall. I think it is a very big sounding, energetic, anthemic, but not in the catchy like fucking tonight hot Chelly Ray, you know, anthemic, but more so just like you can picture it in on a big stage. You could see the pyrotechnics, you could see fucking everything happening, and the crowd absolutely going bonkers for it.
Yeah.
So I fucking I dug it heavy. I definitely think the first half was my favorite. The first 3 tracks in particular, not the intro track, but everything past that I think was fucking awesome. Yeah, no, this was I was like, okay, what the fuck is your problem? And then I listened to it and I was like, wait a minute. Okay, I'm not too mad about this.
Yeah.
I'm not too mad about this. My personal favorite was Unbound, and I really fucked with Atomic Revelations. Atomic Revelations overall did really have that really big catchy I don't know if riffs can be catchy, but I mean, it was a fucking catchy ass riff. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Hell yeah.
Pleasantly surprised.
Hell yeah. They're currently out headlining with support from In Flames, Lacuna Coil, and Unearth, which is just an absolutely insane lineup.
Whoa, what the fuck?
The tour is already kicked off, but peep the dates. There's a little bit left. I am so bummed that tour only came to Brooklyn, because I would have been there in a heartbeat, because holy shit, Lacuna Coil also put out a phenomenal record this year.
Yeah.
And those other 2 bands we have listened to and talked about in the past. So just a phenomenal bill across the board. So if it's coming near you, highly recommend.
Landmarks dropped their new album, The Darkest Place I've Ever Been. It's crazy because I just saw these guys like 2 weeks back.
Isn't that weird?
And I've heard like a lot of these songs live because I was listening to it and I was like, oh, I just heard this one live. So that's, you know, not like flex or anything. We went to the same show. So
like a couple days apart.
I was going to say, yeah. So who am I flexing on? No one. Okay. I am a big fan of Landmarks. I feel like I should listen to them more because this album, start to finish, was just absolutely incredible. It's littered with so many catchy parts and earworms, even though, man, sometimes they break out the French, and I don't know what they're saying, but I'm like, hell yeah. You know?
Me too.
It's just, I really just fuck with it. I also, I mean, we said this when the first single came out, where it displayed French rapping, and we both went, this is just kind of cool. Like, I don't, and it's especially just in the context of the genre that it's in, where it's heavy shit, and then you just have like pretty rapping, pretty French rapping, because it's, you know, it's all just cursive sounding. That's a good thing, because that's just French. And I don't know, I think it's really fucking cool. I like what they're doing. I like the elements that they have, everything that they're infusing into their metalcore. I'm calling everyone metalcore. I'm sorry, guys. That's my blanket genre for the night.
This
Everyone on
this
this list is
is this
metalcore,
is
except Ghost.
yeah.
Ghost is not metalcore. I know I'll get fucking flamed for that. Whatever. Um, Thoroughly enjoyed this record. I think it's incredible. My personal favorite is probably A Line in the Dust, because it has While She Sleeps on it, and I'm a big fan of While She Sleeps. And it's, the first half of the record is just fucking crazy. I just genuinely insane record.
They garnered some attention with their last record, some hype with their last record, Lost in the Waves, and I kind of saw where you gotta at least do that again, if not top it. The pressure kind of starts to come on when you start to get that kind of attention. So with all of the singles, I saw where this record was going, and I'm pleasantly surprised with the outcome. It went the way that I wanted it to, which was topping what was a phenomenal record in Lost in the Waves. It's been a minute since we had gotten a new record from them. That album came out in 2021, which is so wild to think about.
Whoa, that was farther away than I thought.
Yeah, way longer than I thought. But the deluxe edition came out in 2022, which is when we interviewed them. But it's still been a minute since we've gotten a record from Landmarks. Granted, singles throughout that time frame. We weren't waiting too long for new music. But this album is phenomenal. It's crazy to say that it's a step up from Lost in the Waves, because that album is so phenomenal. But this is a step up in every sense of the word. It's just big. It's just big. The chorus is fucking slap. I keep defaulting to that, but that is just what I get from this music. It's heavy as shit. It's emotional as hell. Like the title, The Darkest Place I've Ever Been, absolutely gut-wrenching what they're talking about on here, and I love that, because the vocal delivery is what's selling it for me. The vocal performance on this record is phenomenal. It's one thing I've always really enjoyed about Landmarks is the vocal performance, but this record again takes it up a level, as with everything else. My only complaint really is that they front-loaded it with the singles. That's it, and that's just a minor critique of, well, we listened to all the fucking singles, so of course I'm gonna know what songs were the singles and which ones weren't. Exactly. We talked about all of them. I really like the way it opens with the title track, The Darkest Place I've Ever Been. I think it really sets the tone. It starts out feeling like an intro track and builds into this massive crescendo to start off the album, and I love that. Creature is one of my favorite Landmark songs, hands down. That song goes fucking crazy. A Line in the Dust with Matt from While She Sleeps is a fantastic song. What a crazy feature pull. Awesome. I also really like Sulfur. And then to name some non-singles, The Great Unknown and Requiem are a couple of my non-single favorites as well. And then I really like the way it closes with Funeral. I think that is an appropriate title for the vibe of the song, which they're absolutely pummeling you for all of these tracks, and then they just completely strip it back for the last song. And I think that it fits the vibe. It fits the vibe. It totally slows down, but the song continues to move. Like it doesn't feel like the song is also at a standstill. The song is still moving and flowing you out to the end of the record. Because there is this massive vibe switch. You go from Requiem to Funeral. It's a total 180 sonically. But I'm fucking floored by this album. I knew I was gonna like it because I like Landmarks. I didn't think I was gonna like it this much. I was hoping, like I said, I knew they had something that they had to prove with this record, in a way. But yeah, this is a slam dunk. A lot of overseas touring, nothing currently announced in the US, but peep the dates. I feel like they're gonna be on the road for this one for a long time. So there will probably be a chance to see them. Gloria and I have both seen them at least once, and fantastic show every single time. So highly recommend.
Absolutely insane.
Heart Attack Man dropped a new album, Joyride the Pale Horse. Glory has been talking to me about this record for months, so I'm just gonna let her take this one away.
Heart Attack Man, I love you. I love you so much, Heart Attack Man. Let me start this off by saying they've been one of my favorite bands since 2019, probably. So we've been through some shit together, you know? I mean, I have seen, obviously you have too, because that's the time of the podcast as well. We have never not covered a new Heart Attack Man release.
I mean, you got me
So,
into Heart Attack Man with how crazy you were about the one with the fake blood.
Fake Blood, the one with the baby.
Yeah.
I know that's what you were about to say. The one with the fucking baby on the front. Yeah, Fake Blood. No, Fake Blood is honestly, I don't think about like my rankings too much anymore, but I'm pretty sure Fake Blood is in my top 10 albums of all time. I think it is fucking flawless. And I don't say that frequently. But all that to say, I like Heart Attack Man. I think they're a great band. I was very stoked to hear that they had a new album coming out. All of the singles that they dropped for it, I really enjoyed. The only one that kind of confused me a bit was the title track, Joyride the Pale Horse. It made me go, why the fuck is this a single? Just a little confusing, but it's fine. And it was the closer as well, so it was just kind of my brain. You dropped the title track, a slow song, and the closer all in one.
That felt like that was the song that had me being like, okay, this album is, you know, going back to the old sound while also progressing on that. And then they put out that single. I'm like, okay, but they're also still baking in what they did on the last album. Which,
like, oh wait, I'm seeing the whole thing.
Yes, wait a minute, it's all starting to come together. Which I'm gonna let Glory finish, but that's not what wound up happening, by the way. Spoiler alert.
No, spoiler alert. So, Heart Attack Man, we're so back.
Yeah.
We never left, but this is, honestly, it was one of my most anticipated records for this year. The second it was released, I was like, this shit's gonna be in my top 5, easily, of albums of 2025. Listening to it for the first time, I did not put it down for at least like 4 hours, I'm pretty sure. It's 30 minutes. That tracks, yeah, maybe like 4.5 hours.
You did text me in the middle of the day after listening to Mayday Parade for a couple hours. You're like, I've listened to this album 20 times already.
Because I listened to it on Friday when it first came out, and I was like, oh my god, it's out. Because for whatever reason, I had it placed in like May to come out. Everything is happening in May, so my brain is like, May is when all my favorite shit's coming out. No, it came out early, so now I get to have this, and I'm so excited.
It leaked!
It leaked, but like officially, so it's just out, I guess. So, one more song, I'm gonna just go track for track because I'm gonna speed through it. I promise I'm gonna speed through it because I'm so excited about this record. I don't know how to summarize it in just a short.
But you're good, man. Rip it.
Okay, track one more song, Imposter Syndrome. I think it is an incredibly catchy, sad fucking song. I think it is so well written. It is like gut-wrenching when you actually like listen to the lyrics and kind of figure out what he's saying, and fuck, it's relatable as shit because it's like, fuck, what if they all just realize I'm corny and I'm a fucking fraud and that's their last impression of me when I die? Insane concept, fucking something I feel like everyone deals with at some point in their life, and I think they wrote it perfectly, and I think it captures the energy. It's so Heart Attack Man, it's incredible. Okay, End of the Gun is also an incredible fucking song, catchy as shit. Something that I'm gonna bring up with every single song on this record is that it's catchy because Heart Attack Man just has that energy with every single song they release. They somehow always manage, even with fucking Moths in a Lampshade, one of the saddest songs that I've ever listened to. Other people might not relate. For whatever reason, that song just fucking rips my guts out and fucking stomps on it. But
that's a lot. That's an image.
I know. I mean, it's gut-wrenching, dude. So for whatever, there's still catchy parts and parts that make me go, damn, fuck. So this entire record is very catchy. Spit was a single, and that shit was one of my favorites. It came out alongside Laughing Without Smiling, which is my favorite single that they dropped. Spit's fucking incredible. Another catchy kind of like, fuck you, middle finger to whoever the hell. Lay Down and Die. Another, I mean, you can tell by the fucking title, not the happiest song.
No.
I think it's still fucking catchy as shit, and I love Heart Attack Man so much. Laughing Without Smiling, as I said, is one of my favorite songs that I think Heart Attack Man has ever dropped. It's up there with Pitch Black. It's up there with Fake Blood. It's up there with it's like C40, I think, or it's one of the ones where
C4.
he's in the fucking tree. C4, thank you. Where he's just in a fucking tree on the cover art. I think I don't know what the hell he's doing up there. Um, Call of the Void is another one. Shout out Hot. It was Hot Milk who did a Call of the Void, or
Yeah.
was it?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Because I read it and I was like, oh my god, I love two Call of the Voids now. Great fucking track. Can't Slow Down is another track. Unfortunately, it is on the not slower, shorter side. It's in and out with a minute and a half. It's fine, catchy as shit. It does its job. One Good Reason is another great track. Again, it's just, I don't, they somehow merged all of their sounds from their very beginning to their most recent record and then added a flair of something new. So because it still had all of the familiarities and comfort that I find in Heart Attack Man, but with just like I felt listening to this record, listening to it for the first time, I felt the way I listened to Fake Blood for the first time, where it was just like, fuck, this is like, I can't believe this didn't exist before. I can't believe I didn't have this in my life before. One Good Reason is one of my favorite songs off of it. It is catchy as shit. It reminds me specifically of something that would be on Fake Blood. Only it's just not as aggressive, but I feel like just his vocals overall, the melody, it just kind of has that vibe. I'll See You There is great. The Gallows is great. Quit While I'm Still Ahead is great. And Joyride the Pale Horse has grown on me a lot. I didn't understand it when it was released as a single, but I think as a closer and in the context of the record, I think it's incredible. It also, yep. And also I think how it also encourages the replay of the album, because it feels like it's one big loop. I'm pretty sure it is one big loop. It's either that or I had my transition thing on, which sometimes I turn on and I forget to turn it off for albums. So I don't know. Either way, it loops perfectly. I mean, I listened to it for like 4 hours straight, so I might like it a little bit. Great record, Heart Attack Man. This album is something special. Genuinely, this album made me feel like I was, like, oh my god, 14 again, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, guys.
Hell yeah. Well, I can't possibly top that. Gonna be honest with you, but I thought that this album was awesome. I enjoyed the last record, but we talked about it in the interview we did with Adam. Definitely a sonic shift, an intentional sonic shift with that record. People liked it, but it was such a shift from the last record that people, and there was an EP in between the last record and the in between that last record and Freak of Nature, that built on what Fake Blood did sonically, and then there was just kind of this wild ass curveball that came out of nowhere with Freak of Nature. So this record felt like it was necessary in a way, because like I said, I don't think it was poorly received, but I felt this general sense of people being like confused, and then
no, there was, as a fan, I was confused. I was like, what the
general sense of confusion, and then people kind of coming around on the album as it had its time out in the world, but this felt like it had to be done, a return to form in a sense, while also building on all of the previous stuff, like I said, including the most recent record, because there are hints of that littered throughout this record. Joyride the Pale Horse, the title track, is the most obvious example of that, but even throughout the album there are other elements of songs that feel reminiscent of that most recent record, building on everything else that they had done that was a little bit more punk focused, and then building on top of all that and doing new things with the album as well. I feel like this is exactly what had to be done. They executed it flawlessly. My favorite part about the album is that each song perfectly fades into the next one. Yes. And it wasn't your Spotify transition that you might have had on. Okay. Each song perfectly flowed into the next one, which I really liked. It made for a very cool and cohesive listening experience. Severely underrated when bands do that, but I'm glad that not every band under the sun does it, because it would get old really quick, but when bands do decide to do that, it's always something I like to call out, because I think it's very cool and it builds an album listening experience versus just listening to a bunch of songs that happen to be on a collection, which happens occasionally. So I really enjoyed this record. I like the way it opens with one more song, Imposter Syndrome. I like Spit. I really like Laughing Without Smiling. Can't Slow Down is a slow track, or not a slow track, a quick track with it only clocking in at about 90 seconds, but I really like that. And The Gallows and Joyride the Pale Horse, the title track, has also grown on me as well. I think it closes off the album very well. So yeah, I think that this record is really solid and much needed. I'm digging it a lot. And I know you're going to be spending with a shitload of time with this record.
Like I already have it downloaded to my phone. Yeah, and I don't do that. Usually, I have to sit with it for like a couple weeks and be like, okay, you'll get added to the permanent collection. No, that shit, day one. Day one. I also want to correct myself. Sorry, it was not C4. Okay. It's the title track to the Acid Rain EP. That was the song that I was referencing. I saw the cover of him in a tree, and my brain went C40. I was so off. Acid Rain.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry, Hammy fans.
They're going on a headlining tour. Kicks off in June. I
know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Kicks off in June. So peep the date. See if it's coming near you. Heart Attack Man always puts on a great show. So highly recommend.
They do. Crazy. Yeah. Crazy. God, shout out Heart Attack Man. I fucking love that band.
Shout out Heart Attack Man.
Ghost dropped their new album, Skeleton. I can now say I get Ghost. I genuinely really enjoyed this record. I get it. It is like a romantic sounding rock opera. It sounds like the entire album, just his vocals and just kind of his tone. It sounds like he's like serenading you the entire time. It's very just like, I don't know. It's just appealing to listen to. It is such a beautifully done record. I guess just listening, one song at a time, I wasn't able. Honestly, I did like Satanized, the single, and that is still my favorite track off of the record. I think it is just catchy as shit. I mean, it's upbeat. It's definitely more on the rockier side than the opera side. But honestly, listening to it start to finish, it was just very good. And I was surprised. And not that I dislike Ghost, but it was more so just I was never able to really get into them or appreciate them, knowing how important they are in the alternative scene and just how popular they are with just this generation. And just, I mean, I have like fucking 3 friends who are diehard Ghost fans. So it's like, they have to be good, right? Yeah. I get it. Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. We consciously decided to give Ghost one last swing with this upcoming, well, now out, but at the time upcoming album, the new record. Because if you go back in the archives and you listen to us talk about Ghost in the past, we didn't like it. No. And it mainly just boiled down to they look one way, so they should sound that way.
So like Sleep Token.
Yeah, and it pisses the ever-living... It pisses us off that they don't sound that way, so we don't like it, and we're not going to listen to it the way that it should be. Happy to say we have both matured and decided to listen to it the way that the band says we should listen to it. Yay! And not the way we want them to sound.
Exactly. It's crazy, right? It's crazy how that works.
Yes. Yeah. So went into this rollout with a completely open mind, was digging the couple of singles, and was excited to hear the full album. And it is super cool. It's definitely a kind of sound that, for me personally, I have to be in the right mindset to listen to, because if I'm not, it can very quickly kind of get like droning in a sense, like droning on, and just kind of feel like it's never going to end. And I do feel like there's points, mainly in the middle of the record, where it does get to, like, the album opens with the first like 4 songs, where it's very big, it's very rock centric, and it's moving, it's grooving. I'm feeling good. You know, it opens with Peace Field, which is a slow starting track, but it makes sense for an intro, especially a band like Ghost. I wasn't going to write it off. I also knew that we were going to get into the two singles, which I both really enjoyed, especially Satanized. I really
Right?
dig that song. That song fucks. So, you know, knowing that we were going to get into those two songs, and then Guiding Lights was a pleasant surprise as another song I really enjoyed. But then the middle of the record gets a little on the slower side, a little drony at points. Not for like, there's no one song on this album where I'm like, that's a skip. But there are certain songs, like there are certain moments in these songs that are in the middle of the record that I'm like, God damn, like this song could be condensed by 30 seconds or whatever. But then I feel like it picks up again with Marks of the Evil One, which is just kind of picks back up on the more rock focused type stuff and finishes off the album quite nice. And then it finishes off with Exilus, which is a 6-minute long song that, again, makes sense for the kind of band that Ghost is, and to close off this album in a beautiful way. Overall, man, I'm fucking stoked on this record, because I didn't know what to expect. Like the couple of singles are I can see why they were singles. They are absolutely a little bit more of that mass appeal.
They got our asses.
They got us guilty as charged. The singles worked. Right. Got us excited for the album when we have notoriously not been excited for whatever Ghost is going to do. So mission accomplished there. But yeah, man, they really knocked this one out of the park. Like I said, after we were talking about the last single, I was like, heard that song, and then I was looking at Ghost tickets. The only thing that really puts me off at this point about seeing Ghost is the whole phone-free experience thing, and it's just because like I don't want to be at a show for several hours and like not have any access to my phone. I also like to be able to, you know, I spend money to be there. I want to have some sort of memory that isn't up here. You know, I got enough stuff.
Or that you have to spend $60 to take home with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Hoodie.
Yeah, I got enough going on in my head, trying to remember exactly how the concert was. That ain't gonna last. So I like to have something that I can go back and look, even if it's a couple of just Instagram story videos. So that's kind of a slight turn off for me. I'm sold on this record. I like this album, but I still have a whole discography to go through. Some of which that I wrote off because I'm an asshole.
Or maybe we were onto something and they just did really good with this record, you know? Because I'm like, maybe this wasn't the band we were reviewing before, you know? Maybe they heard that and they got better.
But they really knocked this album out of the park. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad to have turned a new leaf. Like I said, they're going on tour. Peep the dates. I'm sure they put on a phenomenal performance. They wouldn't have the kind of fan base they do if they didn't. You know, they did one of those like record store listening parties, and the record store by my house never has to like do RSVP. Like you can just show up. Like even they did like all the big records get the record store day or the record store pre listening party experience, and you know they did the new Tate McRae and things like that, and these artists are fucking huge. And Ghost is the first time I've seen them put up an RSVP because they were getting so many calls and texts and emails and DMs about it that they were like we're gonna hit capacity if we just leave the door open. So, and then the RSVPs filled up like the post went up 2 hours. You know, I saw the post 2 hours after it was put up, and the RSVPs were already full. Not that I had any intentions of going. I wanted to see. I wanted to see, and the RSVPs were already full. So the fandom that this band has would show me that the live show ain't bad. So
can't be that bad,
take the word of the millions of fans they have and peep the dates. Gloria and I haven't personally seen the show yet, but I'll let clips. I'll let the millions of people that like this band vouch for it.
Yeah, like fucking 8 million, 9 million, I think. Yeah. Should be good. Should be good. Wargasm UK dropped the new single Vigilantes.
Yes, they did.
Fuck, I love Wargasm. This song is so fucking good. Honestly, maybe I'm delusional. And I am just so like Wargasm brained, but I feel like this has the same like maybe it's the BPM, but it feels like it's the same riff as 70% Dead. But that is my favorite song by Wargasm.
Mm.
So I could just be like, I hear the voices, the voices, the voices. I hear them singing. So my brain goes, this is 70% Dead. Even though I've listened to their fucking discography. So I know more than that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really like it. All that to say, great song.
Wargasm definitely has a sound.
They do.
They do. That isn't a bad thing. They've got the sound. You know a Wargasm song when it comes on, but
Can't miss it.
but hence why, like, you could say, oh, it kind of sounds like this other Wargasm song, because they just have that
They sound like
sound.
themselves.
They sound like
Yeah.
themselves. They have their own sound. First independent release for them, which is huge. The song is awesome. Hopefully the start of a new rollout. I would love another Wargasm album or EP or whatever it may be. Big fan of this band. Stoked. Halestorm dropped their new single "Darkness Always Wins." I know you have your thoughts on this one.
I have one thought on that. I didn't like this at all. Like at all. I thought this was like not good. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm the biggest fan of Halestorm. I think it's just her vocals personally. It just doesn't
It's sold.
resonate. It doesn't, it doesn't tickle my fancy,
That's fair enough.
Yeah, it's I hate this word. It just felt corny, the song. But I just didn't like it.
That's fair enough, man. That's fair enough. Hailstorm's not my favorite band in the world. Didn't like the last record at all. But I'm trying to be positive these days, man, and going into these things with an open mind and not just instantly shitting on a band because I've notoriously not liked them in the past. So I went into
Unless
this
it's
one.
Sleep Token.
Unless it's Sleep Token.
Hey!
And even then I had a quick turn of the leaf, and then we went right back to the original feelings on this band.
Yeah.
But I went into this one with an open mind. I like the way that it builds into something. It starts out on the slower side, builds into this big ending, but I just think it's all right. Like, I'm not uber sold on this band. I like what they've done for the genre. I think Lizzie Hale as a figure is such a powerhouse, and I love her as a person. Just listening to her talk about her band to me is more interesting than listening to her band, honestly. So yeah, I think the songs are right. I know it's the start of the next era, and I'll leave it at that. The song's all right. It's not my favorite thing I've heard, but it didn't fill me with the visceral hate that the last record filled me with. Because I really didn't.
What a bar. What a bar.
I still remember not liking that song. It's just all right. It's middle of the lane for me.
You know what? I'm happy.
Hey, man.
I'm happy for you.
Thanks,
I'm happy for you. Yeah, hell yeah.
Appreciate it.
Dayseeker dropped the new single, Pale Moonlight. Welcome back, Dayseeker. This is awesome.
We're so back. We're so back.
This song is fucking beautiful as shit. I'm such a fan of Rory's vocals. I think it's like fucking butter, dude. Like room temp butter. Smooth as shit. I don't know if that's how people say it. I think it's just butter. I don't think people specify the temperature of the butter. All I'm trying to say is it's beautiful. I think that this song definitely platforms it and highlights it wonderfully, just to kind of remind everyone, like, hey, remember, I'm still the shit. I think it's wonderful. I love the contrast of, Rory's, I keep fucking glazing his voice. I'm sorry. His vocals.
The soaring ass, beautiful buttery vocals.
Beautiful ass, buttery, room temp, warm butter vocals, to then screaming, fucking heavy ass vocal. I love when bands do that shit. And I think this song is beautiful. I think it's great. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I really enjoyed this song. I'm excited for the new Dayseeker era. That the last record, Dark Sun, really did a lot for this band. It leveled them up in ways that didn't even know was going to happen, considering the response to the singles at the time, because we got to chat with Rory ahead of the album, and we talked a lot about the sound change and the way people were receiving that, and we talked about like the old stuff is always going to be there. Like that was a big part of the conversation. So to see where this band has went since then has been fucking unbelievable, and so awesome to see. And I'm glad that they are leaning into it even more, because I think it is a super cool sound. You know, it brings in influences that we normally don't hear in the genre of music. So I like it. I think that this band is awesome. And you know, they still incorporate certain heavy moments, like you said. You know, he's screaming a little bit, but it is largely in part not super heavy, and that's fine. I think that they absolutely crushed this sound.
Damn straight.
Yeah. The All American Rejects dropped their new single Sandbox. We are so fucking back, man. Let me tell you, we are so back. And it's so wild because like 3 months ago I was watching the Zach Sang interview they did. Love Zach Sang. And they were just talking about how like an album's going to come when the time is right. Like we're not going to force it. And then like 3 months later, the first single of a probably a new era, considering they're going on tour with the fucking Jonas Brothers in stadiums.
Yeah, what the fuck? I forgot about that.
Yeah. Seeing All American Rejects finally. So I love this band, man. They were a huge part of growing up for me. You know, they had all those massive songs at the time. You know, I have vivid memories of whatever dance video game, because those were all big back in the early 2000s.
And they released like 5 a year.
Yeah, the not the Just Dance, like the dance pad. Like this is PS2 we're talking. Like
shit.
I have vivid memories of like whether it be one of the karaoke games or one of the dance games that had the Move Along music video. It was basically just the Move Along music video on a video game disc. Remember that vividly in my cousin's basement. I couldn't tell you the game or what thing you were supposed to do with the song, but vividly remember that. And you know, this band was a huge part of growing up for me. So stoked to have them back. This song absolutely fucking rips. They're so good. I'm hoping that there's more.
Damn straight. All American Rejects has been an inconsistent favorite of mine, where it's like when I remember them, I go, fuck, I love this band so much, and then I forget about them, and then when I remember them again, like when they drop music, it's just kind of when I kind of like fall in love with them all over again. This song definitely hits kind of that note of classic All American Rejects, which is very comforting. Like damn, honestly, the fucking Hammy record and the All American Rejects single, just I felt like I was fucking 14 again, and it's incredible. God, I'm only 20. Okay. You know what? Never mind, guys. I felt like I was 20 again listening to these songs, and that was great. So big fan of All American Rejects. I really dig the song. Hell yeah. Bad Sons dropped their new single Slow Karma, a cute little poppy song. I think this is cool. I mean, it's definitely pop.
Yeah.
But I think it's fucking awesome. I think it's nice. I think it's groovy. I like the little beep boops. I like the little beeps. I think it's great.
Yeah. They announced their new record, comes out in August. I've been digging the couple of singles we've gotten so far. Communication, that fucking song goes crazy. Communicating, not communication, communicating.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Yeah, that was close enough, man. That song goes fucking crazy. This song, Slow Karma, is also awesome. I'm really digging this new era of Bad Sons, and I'm excited to hear this whole album in August. I'm actually like, communicating really got me excited for the new era, and this song has continued to build on that. So I'm genuinely really excited. The weird out of left field pick of a band for me to be like really excited about their next album. But you know, I love my pop music. What can I say? And Bad Sons.
Tate McRae's #1 fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bad Sons is up there, man. That's for sure. Fit for a King dropped their new single No Tomorrow. This band, man, I feel like they don't get a nap. Like they toured a nonstop off the last record, and then they were like, all right, we're finally gonna stop touring, and they're like, yeah, all right, so here's like the first single from the new era, by the way, like we just got home, we toured nonstop for 2 years, and here's the next single from the new era. Okay, thank you. Song goes crazy.
I'll take it.
Yeah, we will take it for sure. Starts out on the slower side, builds into this big heavy climactic ending, which I feel is the vibe of this week and the playlist in general. This is like the third or fourth time I've talked about a song being like that. But I've been digging this song a lot. I was very excited for it, and they knocked it out of the park as always. I love Fit for a King.
Yeah, damn straight. I think this song's fucking awesome. It's not like heavy as shit, but it is definitely, it's a fucking vibe. It's a groove. I want to shout out the drums specifically. There's like a little moment where it's just groovy, and it's just like, he like something happens with the cymbals, and it's just like a little fucking, I don't know, but it hit me and it moved me, and I love it.
Brought a tear to your eye.
It made me go, whoa, what the fuck?
Wow.
What the fuck for a king? Fuck. Jesus.
Fuck.
Great. Goddamn, we got that interview though.
Yeah, we did.
We got that interview.
You want to talk about fuck? Oh my god.
Fuck, dude, holy shit. Yeah, we sat down with Fit for King.
About the last record.
Maybe I would like to watch that.
And we've had Tuck on the podcast a couple of times to chat about Off-Road Minivan. The most recent Off-Road Minivan interview in particular is one of my favorites.
Exactly. Yeah, damn straight.
That was a fantastic conversation. So, yeah, big fans of Fit for a King.
Damn straight. Yeah, big supporters. Great track. Fucking loved it. Arm's Length dropped their new single, The Wait. The voice is the voice. I think this song is fucking awesome. It is upbeat. It is catchy. It's so summery, and it makes me very happy. It brought me joy. I don't know if lyrically it's happy. Considering the title, I'm gonna take that as a no.
That is a great assumption.
But vibe-wise, made me want to go to California.
Hell yeah. They just keep getting better and better with each single off this upcoming record. I'm very excited to hear this thing in full. This song is awesome. They just keep leveling up, like I said. And I'm stoked. Album's out in less than a month, and I will be eating that shit right up.
Damn straight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, damn straight.
Not Enough Space and Dark Divine dropped their new single Eye for an Eye, and I thought that this was going to be the song that announced the album. It is not. It's
the next one, probably.
It'll be one of these. The Devil Left Me on Red has been on repeat for me. That was the last single. And I've really been enjoying this song as well, Eye for an Eye. Dark Divine feature is a fantastic pull. It makes a ton of sense with this band. And yeah, man, I'm digging this.
I think you can definitely hear the Dark Divine on this track. It is so prominent, and I think it's incredible because I think it works with both of the bands. Obviously, I love and enjoy the music from both Not Enough Space and Dark Divine, so seeing this combo was so exciting because I was like, fuck, I love what both of these bands are doing, so this has to be good. And it did not disappoint at all. Catchy as shit, funky, fucking spooky a little bit. Awesome work.
All around great vibes.
Damn straight. Bury Tomorrow dropped the new single, Forever the Night.
Another fucking crushing ass track, as always, from Bury Tomorrow. They're very consistent in the fact that they are consistently heavy, and this song is no exception. It absolutely fucking rips.
Damn straight. No, this heavy as shit. Just kind of like a fucking punch to the gut, and slams you against the wall a couple of times. It's like you're gonna get hurt if you jump in a pit during this song.
Possibly.
And I think that was their goal with making it, was like, we want people to get fucked up to this. And I think they did it very well. Great track.
Mission accomplished for sure.
Yeah.
Joe Jonas dropped his new single Heart by Heart, because why not pull the pop track out of left field. New release date for the album, May 23rd, by the way. Yeah, he delayed it by a lot. Second single off of it. Very exciting as a Jonas Brothers fan and a Joe Jonas fan. Joe Jonas is my go-to. He's my
You're a JoJo.
I'm a JoJo all the way. JoJo fan for life. He was my favorite when I was super into the Jonas Brothers at the ripe age of 8 years old.
And now
still my favorite.
You're seeing them. You considered going to Jonas Con.
I did consider going to Jonas Con. I didn't. So
you can't say at the ripe age. You can't minimize that.
At the ripe age of 22 years old, I'm still a Joe Jonas fan through and through. All the way. And this song is awesome. I'm really excited for this record. It's been a while since we got Joe Jonas solo music and like proper Joe Jonas solo music, and I was still a Jonas Brothers fan when his first solo record came out, but I was like, this isn't the Jonas Brothers. So I have the CD still, but I know I didn't spend a lot of time with it because I was like, this isn't the Jonas Brothers.
What the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah, I just wanted it because Joe Jonas was putting out an album and I thought it would sound just like the band he was doing. It kind of did, but it wasn't what I wanted. Again, ripe age of 8.
Sure, yeah.
And man, I'm really excited. Songs have been great so far.
I wasn't the biggest fan of this track.
Fuck you.
I mean, it didn't. Shout out Joe Jonas.
Shout out Joe Jonas, man. Shout out the Jonas Brothers.
Shout out Jonas Brothers. Yeah, shout out all 3 of them. Four of them. Shout out all 4 of them. Yeah, hell yeah. Lilith. I didn't mean to show on. It's fine. I think it was fine. Lil Czar dropped the new single, Popsicle. All right, hell yeah. Fucking crazy ass screams, upbeat as shit. I think it's a great track.
Yeah, exactly. A slight sonic shift from the last time we heard from Lilith. It's been a while.
It's Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, the first record felt like it was like kind of haunting in a way. Like the vibe was very dark sounding, this like visually is still kind of got that same vibe, but sonically, not to say that it's this fucking uplifting upbeat song, I'm not saying that, but comparing it to the last record, it's a sonic shift in a slightly more upbeat direction when we're looking at it in the scope of the project is this dark visual, if that makes even the least amount of sense. That is what I'm trying to say. I think the song is good. I'm excited to hear from Lilith again. It's been a long time, like I said. I do think that her project is really fascinating. So I'm excited to hear more of whatever she was cooking up. Because I enjoyed the last record. And then
that fucking last record was incredible.
And then she just kind of fell off the face of the earth for a little bit there.
She did release a track, a remix version of Hearse for Two with the Funeral Portrait. So that was kind of like fucking popped out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, oh my god, you're still releasing, awesome. Okay. And then now she's back, I guess.
We're all the way back. Archers dropped their new single Better Off, announced their upcoming EP dropping in June. Very exciting. I'm digging this, man. I'm really loving the newest stuff from Archers. I have enjoyed all the music that we've heard from them thus far. We had them on the podcast beginning last year, and I've enjoyed everything, that EP as well as all of the songs that we've heard since then. And I'm really excited for this new EP. I think it's some of their best stuff yet, and this track is no exception. I'm digging it.
Damn straight. No, I completely agree. I think this track's fucking awesome. I think it's an ass shaker. I think it's fucking upbeat, catchy as shit. Great track.
Hell yeah.
Youngblood dropped a new single.
Youngblood!
Oh, yes, Youngblood. I dropped a new single, Lovesick Lullaby. So this is definitely a shift from the last track.
It's about a quarter of the length.
Right. No, it's fucking 3 minutes long, which is awesome. I think it's good. I'm just confused with what he's doing. I don't know what the fuck's happening. I'm very excited because I am a fan of Youngblood. Should be good. Shout out Doncaster. Right? Hell yeah. He's a Donny boy.
I love talking about Youngblood just because
he's so good.
You pull out your English accent every time. And it's great.
Like Doncaster.
It's great. I love it. I love it. I think that the song's all right.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Like the last song was this huge moment. Like it was this big, could have been its own album. Honestly, it had so many different things going on. To follow it up with this song, you know, a little bit more digestible. Glad to see a normal length song from Youngblood. But yeah, I just think it's all right. Like I've said on here every time we talk about Youngblood, I'm very hit or miss with him. I don't think the song is bad by any means. I think that he's put out way worse. But I also think that he's put out better. I just think that this song is all right. Keeping an open mind for the album, because I feel like that's appropriate. I didn't hate the first song. I just wish it wasn't 10 minutes long. And I don't hate this song either. I just think it's all right. It almost feels like, as much as I didn't want the last song to be 10 minutes long, this one feels like the idea wasn't all the way baked. Like they pulled it out of the oven. The cake in the middle was still a little raw and uncooked, and then they put it out.
You're doing a baking run.
Look at that.
It collapsed in the middle.
Yeah, it's still yes, exactly. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Like the song kind of randomly abruptly starts, which could be the point of context of an album moment, and then it kind of abruptly ends as well. So that's kind of why I think I'm a little unsettled by the song, and I think it's just fine. Return to Dust dropped their new single "Shine." Also announced that they signed to Republic Records, which congratulations! Holy shit! Fucking awesome.
You texted that shit to me, and I went, "Are you being dead ass right now? That's actually fucking."
I had like this. I saw the single go up, and I just had this weird feeling. I was like, I should check because these are the things I think about. Like, I should check and see who distributed this. What's the copyright on this on the new Return to Dust song? Well, I should have been working. I'm thinking about this, and I was like, holy shit, Republic Records. That is fucking awesome. Massive props to them. I know they had a phenomenal team behind them, so this signing makes a lot of sense. And then going here, a phenomenal management team behind them. So this song is awesome. I'm really stoked to see where they go, because I think that Republic is a phenomenal fit, and this song is awesome. This band is phenomenal. Like, it's crazy to think the first time we interviewed them, we pulled them, they were in the midst of a rock climbing session, and they got in their car to do the interview with us. They had they were just starting to get TikTok success with the songs off the first EP, to now we're sitting here talking about the most recent single they signed to Republic Records. Like, wow. Like the first interview we were talking about, like the whole like going for the dream and all of the feelings that they had with that, and now it's like, holy shit, they're on Republic Records. They're currently out supporting Pop Evil, and then this fall they're going to be supporting 3 Days Grace and Breaking Benjamin in arenas, which is nuts. Super cool to watch this happen in real time. I think that this band is going to be fucking huge. This song is awesome, and I am totally locked in on the new Return to Dust era.
Damn straight. I completely agree. I mean, all the success that they're getting right now is definitely well earned and well deserved. They fuck. So I'm just happy that more ears and more eyes are going to be on them now, so they do get the flowers and the everything that they deserve. I think this track is incredible. I love their sound so much. It's just fucking, I don't know, dude. It's just a fucking vibe, and I love it. This track is incredible. I'm very proud of them, and fucking hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Fucking hell yeah.
Fucking hell yeah. Sleep Token dropped their new single. He said in the song, and I had a friend in like a Minecraft server named this. Still don't know how to say it. Domicles.
Sure.
That's how I read it.
That's close enough.
I don't give a fuck. It's Sleep Token. I don't give a fuck. I hated this song.
Yeah, man.
That's all I gotta say.
They came out swinging with that first song. They did.
Did they though?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought they came out swinging, man. Emergence
came out swinging from a South.
I was like, hey, man, maybe I was wrong about this band.
Yeah.
And every single single since then
proved you
has continued to reinforce the fact that I was not wrong about this band.
Yeah.
can't wait for the album in a couple weeks to finally get to hear this thing in full.
Yeah.
I could experience it on my way to Allentown if I wanted to. If I want to ruin my day, I could listen to this on my way to Allentown.
If you want to make the drive feel like, like
yeah,
5
if I
hours
want the
long.
2-hour drive to feel like it's 9.5, I'll listen to this record. Yeah, I don't know, man. That first song had me hooked, and I don't like this. I was okay with Caramel. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it the same way that I liked the first single. And this song, I was just like, yeah, this isn't even remotely what I would want to hear from Sleep Token. So yeah, largely confused for sure. That's
a great review. Sleep Token, largely confused.
Absolutely confused.
God,
totally. Can't wait to hear this record in full.
That makes one of us.
Yeah, you should be excited too, man. But that concludes the episode. Those are all the topics we had today. You can follow us on Instagram. It's Good Noise Podcast. Facebook is Good Noise Pod. TikTok is Good Noise Podcast. YouTube is Good Noise Podcast. All the audio streaming services are all Good Noise Podcast. Patreon is patreon.com/Good Noise Podcast. Glory's got your Patreon supporters, your Twitch subs, your important plugs, your merch store plug, and your Amazon storefront plug. And then we're going to sign the fuck off and go to bed.
Dude, we had so much energy starting this off. We were like, fuck yeah.
Dude, I was ready to grab this week by the balls, and now I'm ready to go the fuck to bed.
I'm so tired. I kept noticing I was getting smaller and smaller in my chair.
The mic kept getting further and further in frame.
So I was like, dude. Anyways, okay. Check out our merch. It is goodnoisepodcast.creator-spring.com. Check out our Amazon storefront. It has all of the equipment that we use to create the podcast. It has our mics. It has our cameras. It has our monitors. It has graphic cards, all that fun stuff. Thank you to our Patreon supporters, Matt from Pulses, Pop Punk Apologist, David Arrington, Tyson from Heal to Hurt, and Eric. And thank you again to Matt from Pulses for your Twitch subscription.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Much appreciated.
Thank you. Important plugs. Black Lives Matter. Stop Asian hate. Be a decent person. Fucking free Palestine. It's getting fucking hard out there. It's getting fucking tough. So honestly, the least you could do is maybe just be nice to one person. You know, be nice to do something out of the kindness of your heart for one person. That shit's happened to me, and it has genuinely like made my week. So yeah, hell yeah. That's all my plugs.
Hell yeah. Well, that's all we have today. I've been Shane.
I've been Glory.
And we've been the Good Noise Podcast. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.